All right, so moving from Peacemakers now, let's talk about Peacemaker, right? We talked about the first three episodes already, so and I think you did the synopsis for this last time. So seeing now that that no, I think I did. I can't remember, right? But seeing that all 8 episodes are complete, Ricardo, can you just give us like a synopsis of what this season one was about?
Yeah, so basically spin-off of the Suicide Squad from last year.
Mm-hmm.
We're following Peacemaker. He got shot in the throat. He survived somehow, and basically he had to join a new team to solve a certain problem involving an alien invasion of some sort. And yeah, we just address that. But then the core conceit of it is, Peacemaker, him having to come to terms with him being effectively a weapon for the government, and what are you going to do with respect to how to interpret whether or not you want to be that weapon or not, and they make it work for what it is. I thoroughly loved this first season.
Nice.
Who doing what and why. What is so interesting and ironic about this is that the director, who a lot of people consider the most quote-unquote MCU of the directors, actually happening to set up the conceit and template for how to do proper, for lack of a better term, proper anti-MCU stuff, right? How it works as a, something that they know Disney can't do, but does genuinely challenge Disney from a creative standpoint. That is not the Zack Snyder stuff. Because, sorry to say it, look, it hurts me to say it, but Snyder is not the direction, right? He's somebody who has really didn't do that good of a job of creating a counter framework in terms of making good comic book storytelling, in my opinion. But in the case of Gunn and his material, yeah, this is the template to go by, where it's something that Disney can't compete with you because of how raunchy and X-rated and R-rated the material is. But at the same time, you actually have a good working template for how to tell these stories in its own right, in the context of the DCEU, and make it work, right? The one thing that I thought would have been the big hype was actually one of the more disappointing parts of the story, which was when the Justice League actually shows up. This was the big moment at the ending.
Yes.
I thought that fell flat.
I'll talk about that in my review too.
Yeah, I thought that part completely fell flat. That was it. Everything else was great. Like, it was just a quick cameo, and the cameos weren't that funny, and it really showed how even in cameos in the domain of this, it still didn't work. And it's like I totally understand why Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck kind of bust out now. So that's why it didn't really work even in for them. Like, you had to just start from scratch, do something from the get-go and then make it work. Characterization was pretty good as well.
Agreed.
Everybody was pretty good. The reveals involving certain characters, especially Peacemaker and his dad, I thought that was great. Vigilante, he was excellent. He's scene stealer for me. He was legitimately hilarious, but they make it work for 40 years. What's her name? Daniel
Brooks.
Daniel Brooks, right? Yeah, she was good in this, especially her bouncing off of her mom. Like, what they do with her and her mom, especially that last thing at the end. It's a quick bitter, but it works. Like, that was funny. And then this girl, God, slipping my name. Who's she name again?
Who plays Amelia Harcourt?
Right.
Jennifer Holland.
Right, Harcourt. I was trying to remember. Even Diebeard, he even had a good little
John Economos.
Economos, right? Yeah, Economist. Yeah. He was good too. Like, they just make it work. Like, simple storytelling, they make it work. In terms of even the butterflies and that last moment with Peacemaker and the decision he made at the end there, I thought that was a great moment. And yeah, I thought everything just come together so well, and it again, this might be the real working template for what the DCU might be going so far. And it's from the director that even MCU fans I've seen kind of come down on, because it's stuff too emotional and so on. So it's like, nah, that's the reason why he's one of the better directors in the MCU, in my opinion. Because of that, how to balance it now. I really enjoyed Peacemaker for what it was, and this is a good approach. You could do it with other characters, right? I like also the little deep cut stuff, like the Charlton comics reference. So they call it the town Charlton because Peacemaker is a Charlton Comics character, which is the
Okay,
characters.
okay. I didn't even pick up on that.
Yeah, there's
To be
a little comic book history trivia stuff. So the character of the comedian from Watchmen is what he's based on Peacemaker. Peacemaker was created before him, and the character. So that bit, remember the joke inside. Remember the last line that Rick Flag told him. He said, "Peacemaker, what a joke."
Peacemaker, what a joke! Yeah.
That's a good little deep cut, right? Because the character comedian is based on him. I was like, okay, I get where
you do your thing, James. You do your thing.
Yeah, I see the little deep cut. I don't know, but it does seem to line up particularly well. Much like how the question we call him Rorschach is based on the question, similar thing, right? It's Charlton Comics. They keep referencing Charlton Comics a lot, and I would like to see them do more of these kind of, full circle deep cuts, with these characters. A character who was the original this, then we see a parody of it and a subversion of it, and then they come back to the character and address the conceit of what the original character was meant to be. I like to see them do something with that and make it work. That is an interesting kind of, as I say, we done post modern, and to see all these kind of rehaulings of these characters and to see it in such an interesting and modern context, it is the perfect space to do this kind of stuff, especially with the comic book stuff, right? Yeah, James Gunn really have a talent for it. This felt more like Super than Guardians of the Galaxy, right? That is why it worked so well. It was just really good work, good characterization, and I enjoyed a lot of it. It truly, really, really, really well done. I didn't love it as much as other people, and I was kind of mad I got the Justice League thing spoiled for me, but it would have disappointed me anyway, so whatever. But that's a
that you somebody spoiled that for you. Okay.
Yeah, I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw the shot with all of them in it.
Well, you see that's what you did, like on the day of the episode release.
Yeah, well, I was
went on Twitter first. You're not supposed to do that.
No, but I wasn't too, like, I wasn't following the show too hype. Like I after we think it, I only watched one more episode, and then I just like wait till the end, and I'm like, oh shit, Peacemaker going on. All right, I'm gonna go think. But I wasn't following every episode every week. I just wait till the finale, and then somebody say, oh, Peacemaker finale, blah blah blah. And then I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw it and like, oh, okay, whatever. As I said, I wasn't following it too hard. And then when I started watching it back, I forgot how those last few episodes were so good, especially the episode where you had to take on the father. I was like, all right, this was real.
Oh, yeah. That's episode 7, right? I think.
Yeah, and then the last couple of moments with him having to, the father sticking around, right? You'll find out why, right?
Yeah, which I love. I love how they convey that.
I was enjoying all of that. It's just really solid character stuff. And yeah, well, last point that you could go. John Cena was really fantastic in this. That was about to ask, because I know you had your your limit as far as his humor goes. Yeah, at the beginning, but he like when they started digging into the whole thing, especially with the flashback involving his brother, I was like, all right, this really coming together and it really working. And it really feels like, okay, this is the real anti-MCU. This is how to balance this stuff tonally, make it work, how to do something Disney can't do, and still, give an impact to the audience. And yeah, sorry to say, ironically, the guy from the MCU, you could understand why it is that the Disney so successful. They know how to snatch up talent, making it work now. So that's why it works so well for me. So yeah, rating, pretty high actually. I'll give it a very high 8, closer to a 9. Out of 10. Just really, really well done. Good characterization. I really want to see more from this, and I want to see them like do other stuff. It have other characters in the DCU you could build from, with this template and approach and style of humor and storytelling, and make it work now. So I want to see what they're gonna do going forward.
All right. Well, I agree with you for the most part, man. I think where the show excels is just how down to earth it is, right? It's not trying to be, even with the cameo, I'll get to that in a bit, right? It's not trying to be anything spectacular or over the top, right. It's a superhero show, so we have to have all the spectacularness and all these over the top stuff now, but it keeps it grounded, it keeps it down to earth, and it keeps itself pretty much level now, like it knows what it is. It's not trying to be anything it's not, and because of that, it's able to just explore new ground and it just develop these characters a lot more. And that's another area where this show shines, so just the characterization alone, right? Because when you see a guy like Peacemaker, right, especially played by John Cena. And, just from the jump, you think, okay, he's an asshole. He's just this muscular. He's just this beefcake guy who, American and all that kind of stuff there. But with every episode, though, they just dive in a little bit deeper, and then to the point that I wouldn't even say halfway, but like early on, you care for him. You actually understand why he's so messed up, why he is so unaware of political correctness and stuff like that.
Right.
You understand why he's like that, and that's why I'm glad that they actually brought in the character of August Smith, aka White Dragon, right, played brilliantly by Robert Patrick, but he is so scummy and so despicable, though. But you just love him when you're on screen because he having fun, man. Just the mere fact that he get away with certain racial slurs in 2022 is amazing.
Yeah.
And this is another thing that where the show excels as well too, by just knowing exactly what buttons to push, what envelopes to push as well too, but never going too far as to offend the viewer. You know what I mean? Because the humor, the dialogue is very crass, like intentionally crass, right? There's a lot of F-bombs being dropped here, and if I just sound one teeny tiny gripe, like I don't want to be some Puritan or whatever it is, but there are instances where it just kind of feels like, okay, like fuck is the only curse with all they know, or they just drop it, right?
But in the case,
it kind of works in terms of,
okay,
seriously, if you were in this situation and shit was hitting your fan and whatnot,
exactly,
you'd be reacting just the same.
In the case of Peacemaker and Vigilante, it makes perfect sense. The two of them would be like this, especially Vigilante. Like Vigilante is such a mess. Like I actually want to see what they'll do with him going forward, to be honest.
Yeah. At first I wasn't sure what to make of him though, especially when he was introduced in the first episode, I believe it was. Yeah. But he actually grew on me a lot more though. He feels like the little brother to Peacemaker though, like literally, right? They will shoot, be like, they wanna shoot things and fight people and all that kind of stuff though. I'm amazed that Vigilante even survived in this though, because there were numerous instances where like, shit, this man dead, but like literally dead.
That was one moment I was kind of turned off by, because he didn't get a grenade to himself and then he knocked out, right? And I was like, wait, Vigilante. And I forget if Vigilante was a metahuman or not. Like it was slipping my mind.
He was, though. I swear he's just like, a human, quote
exactly.
Unquote.
So like, remember he fell unconscious. I was like, wait, he just get back up normal. So like, all right, that didn't think that was kind of confusing.
Yeah.
However,
and there's a moment where he was driving away and then the car crashed. Like, well, all right, well, he's dead here. It's like, well,
right, exactly.
Oh,
right.
He fell alive. All right.
Yeah, he fell asleep, and I was like,
right,
what?
He fell asleep. Right. Yeah, it was kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
Also, just another gripe though. Like, I know he's supposed to be like not even a secondary, but a tertiary character. Even though I wish he was secondary. Let me see if I get a name, but Judo Master, but.
Right, like, so they could have done more with him.
Yeah, I felt we could have gotten more of him, though. Yeah. There's a nice little running gag where he's always eating Cheetos, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I don't know, just the bare fact that he looks the way he is and everybody like making fun of him. Case in point, there's a moment that I felt they kind of shoehorn a bit, like just when you think about it, right? So he's over in this store, just standing up outside eating Cheetos. These two teenagers come and laughing at him, and then he just, as they come outside, he just beat the shit out of them and steal the car just so. Like I get what they were going for, but it's still, but you kind of wonder, well, wait, so you just here waiting for a car to conveniently come in your jacket? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I just felt we could have gotten a little bit. They could have given Judo Master more to do, because I felt like as a character, just his skill set alone, his size and all that kind of stuff, I thought that worked though. I felt we could have got more to that, right? I did like the moments with Clemson Moon, right? Well, early on, I would say, he did feel like a male version, a really stunted version, I called him, of Amanda Waller. And you can understand why he is, because one of the alien butterflies had had made its way inside of him, right? But yeah, it worked. But there was a great moment though involving McGill, Danielle Brooks, right, who plays Leota, right, where she was wearing one of Peacemaker's helmets, though, the extra one, and then she sees the butterfly inside of him, like, oh shit!
Yeah, that was a good.
That was a great moment. Love that. Even though conveniently she doesn't die because reasons, right? But it was just such a great cliffhanger there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As far as the whole Project Butterfly thing is. For me, I just kind of saw like, okay, we had to do our invasion of the body snatchers kind of thing.
Right.
So we're gonna infect all these people. So it's the police and all that kind of stuff, and it kind of gives James Gunn a reason to just have the heroes just gun them down.
Yeah, for real.
And what that was really cool though, especially in the final episode, which by the way, you hear the full version of Do You Want to Taste It? By the way, that song knocks. At first, I was a little iffy with the opening title sequence, right? But it grew on me with every subsequent episode. I think it's because of how everybody just commits it. The dance move, how stiff it is. But last thing I just want to say, but in terms of that sequence, but the beat, the song itself is killer. It kicks ass. It works, right? And it's not an 80s song actually. It's actually from a Norwegian group called Wigwam. So this song I think is from the 2000s, but it still works and it fits with the whole hair metal song, the vibe of what they going forward this series, right? But for me, who steals that one scene, and he's actually one of my favorite characters this whole show. Agree to disagree, Eagly. There's that last seconds with him going.
It's like a Family Guy opening now, effectively. No, they make it work because again, this is just a sheer creative freedom on display. This is where the DCU have to like do this stuff now, where don't get too tied down, make it work in that sense, and you're now starting to see, because we're now starting to really see the weaknesses of the DCU. The weaknesses of Disney. You could see how to exploit that and run with it now, as it is now. Yeah, so it's just them little things now, these little weird off the wall, off the cuff kind of conceits that they make it work for what it is now. So
because it kind of adds. It adds a lot of heart and humor to it though. But some people might go into this thinking, oh, it's just gonna be some PG-13 rated stuff. But no, this is hard R all the way though, and I love the fact that it commits to it though, but it doesn't go too far. You know what I mean? It's not like being edgelord about it, right? It's just this is the world, right? That being said, though, I know a lot of people are going to go into this, the hype around it, and think it is going to be some sort of like mind blowing. Should it probably might think it will be like Watchmen, right? The TV series, but no, it's its own thing. If you're familiar with James Gunn's work, his R-rated work, it's right up his alley, though. But I just love the fact that it's in TV form, right? So it's not just hijinks and action scenes, but you get a lot of great characterization, a lot of great dialogue as well, too. Very snappy, very witty dialogue as well too, right? And it works, right? But again, it's not trying to be some over-the-top grandiose superhero show just because it's DC. No, you're not getting that, right? Which brings up now the Justice League cameo. Didn't see it, but in the episode itself, right? They do bring up. I read, I was sort of glanced behind the scenes that it was just part of this joke that Jason Momoa and Ezra Miller were on, like, Aquaman fucks fish, right? And they just kind of roll with it, right? But for me, like, okay, it was funny, it was like, okay, Jason cuss, all right, okay, ha ha ha. Yeah, if you saw Zack Snyder's Justice League, it's like, oh, it's kind of going to that R-rated territory. Okay, but what was so funny? Sorry, what was so ironic about it? What kind of big? Well, like. Okay, so I have them in the first place. So it could have simply been Flash and Aquaman, but Superman and Wonder Woman, they're in silhouette. Just stand up there doing nothing.
Just stand up there, pointless. It was dumb.
What's the point, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. Because if they're doing nothing, then you kind of wonder, well, okay, well, where's Batman and all of this stuff?
Exactly.
I get what they're going for, but it's like if you again, they decide to bring them into this shuttle though.
Right.
So have them do something. Don't just have them just kind of stand up like
Yeah. Because the joke was they're too late. Everything done now. All right. I suppose that's kind of funny. But to me, if anybody,
I mean Superman and Wonder Woman. They just there. They just stand up.
Here's the problem. They couldn't afford Gal Gadot, and then Henry Cavill is out. That's the problem.
Well, I know. So why
cut them out.
So why have them?
Cut them
anyway,
out.
But joke. Well, one second. I just made a joke online. Do release the gun cut. So there'll be fans who will say, "Oh, there's actually more scenes in that episode involving the Justice League, right?"
Yeah, but the thing is, to me, if anything, just have Flash show up. Like, you could have just have Flash show up. He would have been fast enough to get there in time. Maybe Superman. I don't know. Like, it
No,
was
just have him and Aquaman. It's
but
it's about the two of them anyway. So
but my point is that the joke don't work or fall flat now. Like that's the joke. Like they just reference that's the joke. All right, moving on.
Yeah.
But they had a Green Arrow joke as well, which was kind of funny, I suppose.
It was.
Kinda.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah. But I mean, for what it is, I enjoy this one. I will confess though, there were, because this is a weekly thing. Cause we covered the first three, which came out in one day. But I would admit though, I found myself like forgetting that the show comes out on Tuesdays, so I would just kind of like, oh shit, and then I'll look at it like the following day. Then I mean,
Right.
but that's not to say the show is bad or anything like that, right? But it does tell its story. I do appreciate the fact that it's not trying to be something that's not. It's very grounded, and not too realistic and whatnot, right? It kind of balances, the comic book world with the real world, and I think they do that very well, right? But really, oh yes, and last, how can I forget? By John Cena though, he killed it with this role.
Yeah,
like.
great.
At times, yeah, he does come off like a man child, but that's the point, right? But there are these like just unexpected moments of just human, just him being human, him being down to earth, that work for me. Like case in point, that moment where he was playing Home Sweet Home from Motley Crue, on the piano, and this was like when the episode done, I do a Googling, is actually Cena do it? I'm like, wait, okay,
Right,
Cena,
right.
yeah. Let's go Cena, right? But yeah, boy, he commits to this role though. Yeah, he just put everything into it though, and yeah, I have to give him nothing but praise, man. So, but so you could say what you want about his comedic range though, but I think that it works here very well, and he gets the kick ass as well too, so that's pretty good. But it's really the characterization, how Cena was able to convey this, because yes, he is a man child, but it's him kind of learning about the world around him and changing over time, which really makes the show work here. So for me, I'm gonna give this a decent, strong 4 to 5, man. This is absolutely worth checking out, though. Don't go in with expectations too high with this one, though, because again, I just have a feeling that people will go into this who haven't seen it yet. Will go into this blind and think, okay, this is gonna be some like next gen superhero show, and they're gonna change the face, everything. No, not really. It's not, but. For me, I think it will change the way how people look at how superheroes can be conveyed now, you know what I mean, in these times, especially with, this influx of MCU stuff and DCEU stuff. So it kind of shows that, yeah, we could kind of just bring these characters down to earth and, you see where we go there, and it works. But really, James Gunn is the MVP in all of this, though. He makes this thing work. He makes this thing shine. I love the fact that he just stuck to his vision. He's not trying to do, what other, superhero shows do. And, he just did his thing, man. And I can't wait for season 2, man. I definitely can't wait, man. So yeah, Peacemaker is the real deal. Yeah, if you haven't checked it out, yeah, please do, man. It's really worth it.